How to have a light bulb moment. If you want a light bulb moment, here's how you do it. You walk into a room, you press a switch, the light comes on. That's it. And if you think about it, it's a little miracle. Yet somehow, in 2026, we've decided this isn't good enough. A friend of mine recently gave me the smart home tour. You know the tone, the careful pride, the sense that you're about to witness the future, except that the future occasionally needs rebooting. He could turn on the living room lights from the garden, the hallway from the sofa, the kitchen from upstairs, presumably in case crossing a room becomes illegal. There was a remote, there was an app, there was a hub that glowed with corporate optimism. And there was also, quite notably, a light switch, right there, next to the door, where it has been since electricity first stopped trying to kill people. Look, I said, it's already solved. You walk in, you turn it on, you leave, you turn it off. I could see his modern response forming. Yeah, yes, but you could. And then comes a list of features which mostly boil down to, I could do the same thing with more steps and a further financial relationship with my router. Now, before anyone accuses me of yelling at clouds, which I do sometimes do, there are two situations where smart lighting is generally useful. And I'll come back to those. But first, the heresy. We don't notice the objects that work. We notice the needy ones, the ones that demand updates, the ones that want us to become their unpaid IT department. The light switch asks for nothing. The light switch is nearly perfect. The modern wall-style light switch, the one that doesn't set itself on fire every time you use it, is generally credited to John Henry Holmes, an English electrical engineer. He invented and patented a quick break switch in 1884. Basically, a mechanism that makes the contact snap apart fast enough to stop arcing and therefore stopping electricity from turning your hallway into a small experimental volcano. Like all good things, there were other people designing similar items, but Holmes got to the patent office first, so he gets the credit. There it is, right at the point of use, by the door, where your body already is at the exact moment you need light. That sounds obvious until you realise how much innovation consists of moving control away from where we need it and then calling it progress. The light switch is immediate. No latency, no processing, no little spinning wheel deciding whether your request deserves to be honoured. You press it, the room answers. And here's the thing. You don't know the light's on because of the position of the switch. You know because the room is lit. Your feedback is the world. There's no icon, no status screen, no interpretation layer, no waiting. You act, reality confirms. That's interface design so clean you forget it's even design at all. We're so busy building layers of abstraction between ourselves and the world that we've started treating immediacy as a design flaw. There's a contemporary philosopher, Luciano Floridi, who talks about levels of abstraction. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It just means we don't deal with reality raw, we deal with models of reality. A light switch used to be a very low-level model. Finger, plastic, click, light. Smart homes move the same act up several levels, so now you're not pressing a switch, you're interacting with a system, you're modelling illumination as information. And here's the thing, these levels of abstraction centralise power. The higher the abstraction, the fewer people understand what's actually happening. The more dependent everyone else becomes on the people and companies who do. A wall switch requires no license agreement, no network, no monthly fee, just the purchase price and, if you're sensible, a sparks to fit it. It's almost as if the point was never the light. And to be fair, we've always had a subscription, and it's called the electricity bill. The difference is, it used to be the only one. Now, when smart control works, it works. Those reasons where it actually makes sense are, if getting to the light switch is difficult, then remote control isn't indulgence, it's independence, and that matters. If automation genuinely removes a task, occupancy sensors, dusk lighting, and fades into the background, excellent. But most smart upgrades don't remove friction, they relocate it. They take a local action and insert abstraction. The switch becomes a suggestion. You press something somewhere and then you wait to see what the system thinks about that. Sometimes the switch stops being a switch entirely and becomes an opinion. You flick it and the bulb sulks because you've interrupted the network. And that sentence alone should cause a mild existential crisis. And then there's the ecosystem: Wi-Fi, hubs, accounts, permissions, cloud services, updates, an entire domestic bureaucracy. And things can fail in ways that are neither broken nor fully working, which is the most psychologically exhausting category of broken. The kind where it works most of the time and you start adjusting your behaviour around a light bulb. You are no longer turning on a light, you are managing a configuration. Kitchen 2, hallway group, evening warm relax. Scene 4, what's scene 4? You press the sofa, the bathroom responds, and the house has become a slightly sulky teenager. And it's marketed as convenience. It isn't convenience, it's uncertainty with a shiny finish. The past wasn't better, but it was more legible. If the lights went out, you knew. The room was dark. Now, when something fails, you're not sure whether the bulb updated, the router sulked, the cloud decided you were unworthy. That's not simplicity, that's indirection. The light switch belongs to a small, endangered class of objects, finished things. The fork, the spoon, the wheel. They don't represent an action, they perform it. You don't interface with the spoon, you use it. And the feedback is immediate. The food is either in your mouth or on your shirt. There's no dashboard. There's no syncing. A fork does not require updated terms of service. And a spoon doesn't ask you to create an account. Reality handles the quality control. These objects feel calm because they respect your time. They don't try to recruit you into an ecosystem. They don't try to monetize the act of eating soup. And somewhere along the line, we've decided finished is a failure of imagination. That everything must be extended, connected, measured. Which brings me right along to the Bluetooth toothbrush. Does it exist? Yes, it exists. Of course it exists. At some point, our product manager thought, what if brushing teeth had analytics? Brushing teeth is already a closed loop. Brush, feel clean, go to the dentist, adjust accordingly, and your mouth provides feedback. It's brutally honest. Bluetooth doesn't improve the brushing, it adds measurement theatre. Now you're not brushing your teeth, you're participating in a product strategy. The upgrade isn't about the action, it's about data, platforms, stickiness. Moving the centre of gravity away from the thing that works and onto a system that can be monetised, which is fine if it's a hobby, and everyone needs a hobby, so I'm told. The problem is when it's sold as a universal model of progress, as though every object in your life is a broken version of itself until it reports back to a server. Sometimes a switch is just a switch, thank God. Progress isn't more features. Progress is fewer steps, fewer dependencies, less attention demanded. It's local control and immediate feedback. It's a world that answers honestly. The light switch is a masterpiece, not because it's clever, but because it's done. Automation can extend it, accessibility can justify it, security can support it. But if your convenience introduces doubt, if it demands maintenance, if it requires a network and a password to do what your hand can do in half a second, it's not progress. It's actually a downgrade disguised as progress. I've spent a lot of my life thinking about embodiment, what it means to live in a body that doesn't behave the way systems expect it to. The one thing you learn quickly is that friction matters, feedback matters, directness matters. Anyhow, I'm curious, do you have a favourite finished object? The thing nobody has improved because it already works? And what's the worst smart upgrade you've ever encountered? And bonus points if the object never in human history needed a companion app. Cut.